Alright, Piss and Vinegar Day 35. Accessories, so traps, neck, calves, abs, all the shit that I don't do on my other days. And I highly suggest adding one of these days if you haven't already. You will get far better gains on your accessory movements or your smaller muscle parts that are thrown in at the end of your sessions if you do it this way. Especially if you're doing volume, because those things will get neglected hard with a lack of focus and intensity at the end of a 2 hour long bullshit volume workout. But even in, high intensity, I feel like if I'm doing leg day, at the end of leg day, I don't want to do abs. At the end of, shoulder day, I don't want to do shrugs. At the end of leg day, I don't want to do calves. So I do these on their own day, and it works fine, because typically you train, once a week on high intensity anyway, or a body part once a week. So doing power shrugs here, did 165 for 11, not too bad, not too cheated either, but a little bit of cheat just to get that stretch overload. And then I do I do a drop set, and then I do rack shrugs. These are far better than normal shrugs. You're way weaker on these, so you don't have to use as much weight, which, maybe isn't necessarily the best thing for the traps in the sense that the traps grow a lot from stretch overload, but they also grow from squeezing them at the top. Like, I have a hard time really feeling my traps a lot of the times. So in order to really feel the contraction at the top, I need to do these. And these are a good way of keeping the reps exactly the same too. It's a good way of keeping progression standardized. I actually prefer Smith machine movements on a lot of different things, if possible, because they're actually technically better for strength. Strength requires skill. A lot of strength-based movements require skill. And anytime you have skill, you have inconsistency, because some days we are better at things than other times. Sometimes we run faster than other times. Sometimes we bench press better than other times because there is a skill component. And there's so much neurological adaptation that's required to get efficient at those movements. Whereas when things are just set in place, you can actually truly test raw physical strength. That's why watching strongmen use machines is always so boggling, because you see how unbelievably strong they are in machines. So yeah, bunch of trap work here. I shred my traps harder than pretty much any other muscle because I have a hard time really feeling them, and there's a lot to the traps. There's mid, lower, and upper. As you can see, I'm doing the mid and lower retraction shrugs now, but I hit these hard because, one, I think they are easily the first to third most important muscle in the physique. Maybe chest, maybe biceps and triceps edged it out a little bit, but overall, or shoulders, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I genuinely, like, when you really look at a physique in a shirt, at least, it beats anything else. Like, if someone has if someone has big traps, they lift, especially if you're just chatting to them with their shirt on, etc. So, super important. Now I'm moving on to neck curls. I only did neck curls today because my neck was feeling a bit stiff and I didn't want to get a headache tomorrow. So just did the neck curls, didn't do the side neck curls or extensions especially. So kind of a maintenance day for the neck. But, this alone will get you a big neck. Kind of risking getting my hair ripped out there when I dropped the plate, I just realized. So yeah, just doing these. And then I move on to, what do I do next? I do my calf raises. So I just made a new calf raise machine. It's not completed yet. It's kind of a prototype. I'm making a few different things, but I was having a hard time doing calf raises with the safety squat bar because, one, it wasn't set in place. I had to run it across the rack. Having a bar on my thoracic spine for more than 20 seconds, I start getting nerve impingements in my neck and I can't feel my arms, because I got some fucked up neck and thoracic spine problems. So I just stopped doing them for a bit, and today I decided I would make a calf raise machine. Obviously it's a little bit sketchy and it can be improved, and I have an idea in my head on how to make this better. Rather than sitting on the bench, I'm going to sit on the wood itself and then lift my body weight plus the plates, and that way I don't have to use as many plates, because you can see I needed 75 kilos here to really feel it. And then in order to make more out of less weight, I did 5-second concentric and eccentric. But what I will say is these felt really good. I haven't done a seated calf raise in a long time, and this shit shits all over a standing calf raise. Not only was I able to get both heads of the calf muscle, I got the soleus and the gastrocnemius, I think it's called. I got the soleus and the gastrocnemius, whereas when I do standing, I just get the gastrocnemius. I can never really get the soleus, which is realistically the most important part of the calf, because that's where the most of the meat is. So this was allowing me to get, for you layman's, inner calf and outer calf a lot more, especially the inner calf. So this was fucking sweet. Gonna tinker this around, make it easier to set up, and but so far this is perfectly fine. And I'm enjoying making equipment. It's fun, and it's modulated, right? So like with this, rather than having to build a whole extra machine that I do not have space for, this way I can just attach it to my rack and I'm good. And hopefully one day I'll be able to get one of those really modulated squat racks that already have like pre-created, you know, jammer arms and calf raise machine equipment on it, functional trainer kind of squat rack. But as of right now, I'm just going to fuck around with making wood ones. And if anyone has any ideas on how to create better leverage on that, or worse leverage rather, to make it harder, let me know. I'm not much of an engineer. And now I'm doing some sit-ups. I decided to switch over to cables today, and this felt way better than the plate. And there's a great demonstration as to why this is so much better. And I put too much weight on this. Literally, this is only, I think, 8 kilos of cable tension. And it was like, I could barely get like 5-6 reps here, which is funny because with a 10 kilo, 15 kilo plate, I can get like 15 reps. Because this way, the resistance curve is really good all the way through. And I don't have the plate length changing the resistance curve. So these were really good, and this is going to be a new, this is how I'm going to be doing sit-ups from now on. This is way better. So if you're doing sit-ups with plates, stop doing that. Use cables instead. It is far harder, you get far more out of less weight, and the resistance curve is far superior. And I'm going to demonstrate in a second. Now I'm doing a drop set. I grabbed onto a 5 kilo plate, and even that, like, this is too light, right? Like, you can barely feel it, and it actually makes it easier because when it comes down in front of you, it actually counterweights you. And then, even better example, my dog weighs 25 kilos, and I can barely do a body weight setup. And granted, I do a bit of a rest pause getting him onto my chest, but I got Ninja, my dog, onto my chest. He's 25 kilos, and all of a sudden, I could do, I mean, obviously it's not exact, but I could sit up with him on my chest because the reality is when you have a weight on your chest, it counterweights you up. So, engineering 101, I'm not much of an engineer here, but clearly having weight plates on your chest is inferior. Use cables. This little bastard won't get in my way. And then I move on to my camera fucked off. I did leg raises too, cable leg raises, but you can't see that. Now I'm doing obliques. So here I do sort of a I do a rest pause on my right oblique because my right oblique is smaller than my left. It's less pronounced. The insertion doesn't look as good, or it just isn't as muscular, and it's not as strong either. So what I decided to do was take a set to failure for my right oblique and then do a rest pause. And then on my left side, I just did a straight set to failure because I want to get my right side equal to my left. And you probably can't really see it in this lighting or anything, but there's most definitely an imbalance here, and that's probably not good for my spine's health either. And if you're watching this series, you might very well know that I have a very fucked up fucking spine. So yeah, this might be contributing to some of my back problems. And you know, funnily enough, the disc that in my spine that is kind of bulging is bulging to the right, which is where my ab is weaker. So probably unrelated, but who knows? Could be related. And then I switch on to the next other side, or wait, no. Sorry, it's my... Fuck, which side is imbalanced? I think it's my... No, sorry, yeah, it's my right side that's weaker. Yes, right side that's weaker. So now, I can't even remember now. But basically, yeah, one of my sides is weaker. I think it's my left side that's stronger, so my right side's weaker. Anyway, whatever. So I probably fucked this up, actually. I was supposed to do a rest pause on the other side, and I didn't do that. But anyway, whatever. Oh, and fuck, that was the same set. My bad. I'm super confused. Anyway, whatever. So now I'm doing my left oblique, which is the stronger oblique, and you might be able to see it from here. Might not, who knows. But yeah, my left oblique is stronger and doing less. I'm not doing the rest pause here. So if you have any muscular imbalances, do a rest pause, do a drop set unilaterally on the muscle that is smaller, and then don't do a rest pause or a drop set on the muscle that is bigger. And that way you might be able to offset some of that muscular imbalance. I mean, doing unilateral movements in general will fix your imbalances to a good degree, but doing more work on one side will only further or quickly fix that issue. And realistically, I probably shouldn't be training my obliques too much anyway, because I have very, very big hips, but you know, it is what it is. The obliques are important for having a good kind of trim looking waistline definition wise, so doing them anyway. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow for more Piss and Vinegar for arm wrestling day. Bye bye.